Now, I know from the video yesterday, most of you guys were probably like, I didn't get it, wasn't that funny? It's not really supposed to be an entertaining video. But there were 3 basic things that I expect you to get out of that video yesterday. And that's that there were 3 basic trig ratios, correct?
Yes.
What were those trig ratios?
Cosine, sine, and tangent.
Good, cosine, sine, and tangent. And as bad as her performance was yesterday, she did a decent job at telling you what the sine, the cosine, and the tangent were, which is all I was asking you to do on today's video quiz. Can you tell me, from that video you watched yesterday, what the basic setup is for sine, tangent, and cosine? So, the first one, and I want to make sure we understand this very clearly. The ratios we are about ready to learn today only work for right triangles. If you have anything else, this will not apply. In those situations, you would have to use law of sines and law of cosines. The whole point of using trigonometry is that it allows us to find missing sides of a triangle with knowing minimal information. All you need to know is the angle and one other side of the triangle, and you can figure out the other side. What's kind of nice too is you can use trigonometry to also solve for the angles. For example, if you know that you need one side of a triangle to be 30, the other side to be 20, you can actually know, okay, what is the angle I need to cut or create in order to get that to happen? We can use trigonometry to figure that out. So we said we had these 3 basic ratios. And those 3 basic ratios are sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine, as you learned from the video, represented with the phrase sin of theta. It is a function. It takes an input value and spits out another value. It is a function. That is not sine times theta. I actually had that argument with a student just last night. That was fun. Trying to go to college student. Mr. Thomas, what's the value of sine? Depends on the angle. No. No, it has a value. It's like pi. No, it doesn't. It's a function. Yes, it does. It has a point. No, it does not have an angle. Okay, so it is a function. It does not hold a value. The sine of the angle is where we get that value from. The sine of 30 is unique. The sine of 45 is unique. The sine of 56 is unique. You need an angle in order to find the value of the sine. We represent the sine, as the statement says, the opposite leg over the hypotenuse. So what I was looking for in your video quiz was opposite over hypotenuse. That's all I was looking for sine. Okay? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine. Guys, please make sure that when you say these, you don't say cos or cos. It is cosine. You write it as cos, but it is spoken as cosine. I don't have it open. So the cosine of theta, really theta is just like saying x, it's just another variable. So if that's throwing you guys off, don't let it, it's just a variable. The cosine of theta is the adjacent leg over the hypotenuse. And the last one I want to talk about today is tangent. And the tangent of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Sorry, we already did it. Opposite over adjacent. So we're actually going to do this a little bit here. I'm going to ask you guys to find some values for me. Using that same figure, don't change the page yet. using that same page, what is the sine of B? The thing with the trig ratio is it totally depends on your perspective. What angle are you coming from? Connor, what is the sine of B?
B over A.
Little b over A. Very good. Little b is the opposite side of angle B. We'll talk about that. Okay. What is the sine of C?
C over A.
C over A. What is the cosine of B? Which leg is adjacent to angle B?
C.
C. So that's our adjacent leg over hypotenuse. What about the cosine of C? B over A. What about the tangent of B?
B over A. B over C.
B over C. Opposite over adjacent. And what is the tangent of C? Notice, which angle did I not deal with in all of this? The right angle, right? You're never going to take a trig ratio using the right angle. It's always one of the other two.
Dang it! You saw me. I wanted to sneak up on you.
We're learning about Sokotoa.
Well done,
Sin.
Connor.
You're learning about sin. I didn't know we could teach sin in class.
Can in math class.
Oh, that's right. You guys think I'm just so doggone funny?
Hear that, Mr. Vicky?
Huh?
That was a V slap. What is Sokotoa?
Math is the devil.
Oh no, it's not.
Now,
We're
we
talking
did last
about
night.
that. This is.
You guys maybe heard the phrase before, SOHCAHTOA. It's a great mnemonic to make sure you remember which one of these trig ratios you're going to use. And how, it's kind of easy to forget which one's opposite, which one's adjacent. So SOHCAHTOA. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent.
Ah.
Oh, I thought the second, the first letter of the second one was L.
Yeah,
I thought
that's a C.
Sorry.
Hey, gal.
That little curly there.
Oh, no,
That's a G there.
That's a G.
There we go. That's better.
This is really cool.
Cool stuff.
All right.
It's a C.
So here we go. Next page, number 1. Sine of R. Which angle are we referring to?
R.
R. Okay. Sine. What's the ratios for sine? Opposite over hypotenuse. What's the side opposite of R? 5. So that's our, remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So our opposite side is 5. What's the hypotenuse? How about 13? It's 13. Oh, it's 15.
I did too.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, so here we go. Hey, doesn't matter. Number 2. Cosine. Cosine of R. That's adjacent over the hypotenuse. So what's the side adjacent to R? Go ahead, Jeff. 12. What's the hypotenuse? 13. Okay, last one is tangent.
5 over 4.
That's opposite over adjacent. That's 5 over 12. Shannon, put you on the spot. Cosine of E for number 4. Cosine of E. Shannon, let's kind of make sure we back up a little, okay? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent is one that's attached to it, right? So we're looking for a cosine of E. So which leg is attached to E? 29 is the hypotenuse. So it's either the 21 or the 20. Which one's attached to E? And we're looking at angle E. So which one of these two sides, the 21 or the 20, is attached to E? 21. What's your hypotenuse? 21 over 29. Guys, I just sent you a quick poll. I want you to give me your ratio for the tangent of E. Give me the ratio for the tangent of E.
How do you do the fractions?
You can do control. Control division.
He's gonna come meet with me in the morning.
Why is he?
Go all the way to the top. See where it says quick pull? All the way to the top. And just go.
Oh, you're right, I mixed them up. Said the same order as those.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I messed up. 21 of them.
Okay, guys, take a look at this. Got the majority of you guys in.
I mixed up on the big fold.
Yeah, set it on that.
Just resend it to me.
All right, here we go. What did we come up with? 20 over 21. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, it should be that anyway. All right, tangent is opposite over the adjacent, so therefore it is 20 over 21.
Yeah, I messed up.
I thought we were still doing the first one. But I had it written down.
Exactly. All right. Rachel, what is the sine of E? 20 over 29. Very good.